Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT rostermania and many more leaks coming out over the last 24 hours. Plenty of confirmations for certain teams that are either getting rid of certain players or bringing coaching staff members onto the roster. But also Zombs and Co. potentially joining TSM, and ShahZaM confirming he's got a lined up offer going through very soon indeed, and he is no longer looking for a team. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Really helps out the channel. Thanks very much indeed for doing that one. Firstly, some confirmations from around the world from Ascend, of course. World Championship winner cNed with Ascends back in 2021, now officially released from the organization. Sad stuff, of course, and cNed really at the end of last season was in a difficult spot with the way that team was going. As he says, don't know what to say. Thanks for the amazing adventure and all the guys that helped him along the journey. cNed, new journey incoming to, we believe, Na'Vi. They started clearly a new kind of Twitter page here, Na'Vi Valorant. And as you can see, you know, the ice emoji and whatever. And who could have guessed the player that follows them is none other than Mr. cNed himself. So, yeah, makes sense, of course. But, yeah, we know it's going to happen at this point, so it's only a matter of time until cNed to Na'Vi gets officially confirmed. On the other side of things, it's FBX, right? Because those guys, the rest of that team is going to Na'Vi, we believe, apart from with the exception of Ardes, who we think is going to go to NRG to join them as their kind of replacement for Ye, effectively, with that former OpTic core. As he says, my journey with FBX comes to an end. Who do I go to next? We saw yesterday that FBX effectively released their entire team as well. Talking of NRG then, a confirmation in terms of their roster that is upcoming. As Chet says here, farewell to OpTic. Of course, great organization and results they had over the last couple of years, but he is now back on NRG again. I mean, if you guys know any history from, you know, let's say NRG, I'm a pet from back in the CSGO days, his career has been plus NRG, minus NRG, plus NRG, minus NRG, plus NRG again. Like, he's back with this organization yet again, and yeah, he's officially back. So their first player, or their first coach, of course, is going to be Chet on the team, and he's going to be rounding out the coaching staff of the roster, and of course, very soon indeed, they will be bringing the rest of the fellas on, we imagine, probably over the coming days. They'll confirm something or another, and even as Victor says, congrats, man, gonna miss you. Kind of joking around, of course, because Victor is going to be there more than likely before long as well, and even just to say this, because yeah, it's not like they've just got this deal done and other deals are waiting to be done. It's all confirmed, as one of their streamers, Joey, says here, I'm summoning the Exodia of Valorant, because they've got the Chet jersey here, and then they've got 5 other jerseys, which are clearly already set in stone. So it's going to be FNS, Victor, Crashy, Som, and Artis, we believe, to round out the team, but only a matter of time until all this type of stuff does indeed get confirmed. Let's talk on the Tier 2 rostermania side then, because still many questions going around there. We believe that ShahZaM, not sure about the dapr situation yet, but certainly Zombs and Co as well, they've got something sorted. Effie's from version 1, not clear where he's going to go. He's still looking for a team. Zelsis gives him a nice shout out here in the replies. One of my favorite teammates ever and great friends. So hopefully it works out for Effie's. But yeah, really difficult even in Tier 2 right now to find something good, because there aren't still that many organizations that are committed to making this work. Quick note on the Tier 1 side again. This is Flynn's spreadsheet, the latest one that he does last night. Just to say really that on the far left hand side, it's very small, but Evil Genius is like, it's still not exactly clear what they're trying to do here. So Jorgemo, Ethan, Busio, Com, we've kind of heard as that 4 for quite some time, but the 5th player is still undetermined between Valiant and Superman. Apparently, maybe there's just no real updates here, and we think the Superman is going to potentially go back to FaZe to be on their Tier 2 roster because the thing fell through there. But maybe if it didn't fall through anymore, I don't know what's going on. But kind of funny to me that all the other teams we either have confirmed, 100 Thieves, Cloud9 Sentinels, NRG is obviously coming soon, and EG, we still don't really know from the rumors what exactly the plan is there, right? We don't really know the 5th player right now, even though we believe that Ethan is pretty much a guarantee at this point. So this is what's going on around the world. This is then the Tier 2 list that's getting updated at this point every single day. So we saw that team looking for rosters. So these at the top here are organizations that are in and are looking for a team, for example. So the G2 team, Xset, FlyQuest, Dark Zero. We know that FaZe probably are back here. Superman, for example, is still meant to be here. So more than likely it's going to be valid, I think, to Evil Geniuses, but still, it's not exactly guaranteed at this point. TSM as well, there's some questions there whether Sabrosa is going to stay or go. He reckons here that Rossi, Corey, GMD7, and potentially Sabrosa, you know, could be pretty similar to last year's roster, right? Actually, pretty much the same. So, you know, that's one option, but this could very much change up as well, and probably will if what we're seeing in the secondary is correct. So these are the teams that are trying to form. We don't know what's going on with version 1, whether they're even going to get a Valorant team again for next season. Maybe depends on a few factors. But one of the big organizations to me, G2 and maybe Xset, but G2 have not confirmed their intentions to get a Tier 2 G2 Valorant organization roster in North America, but there've certainly been rumors implying it, and that's the key question to me. And if they have got a coach in Immy, like, he must have been doing something for the last week or so since that was rumored. Like, he must be talking to players. And we also know that this team, this unknown organization, has signed these players as well. So it's a messy situation over there. And this was spotted last night. Very interesting to me. So SQ Pura, of course, we know the Sonics team was confirmed the other day with Pura and the guys, and they were playing against this 5-man lineup here with Tex, GMD, Zombs, EU, and Corey. So what's going on here, right? Because we saw just yesterday or 2 days ago now the rumored roster that Zombs was playing with, and it had Stewie2K on there, and Raucus was there, as the IGL Brax was there as well, and now Tex and Zombs from that 5-man team may have gone to join this potential TSM roster, because, you know, you'd imagine this is the TSM guys again, GMD, Corey. It makes sense for them to keep them around. Tex coming in as the chamber, Zombs coming in as that controller probably as well. So yeah, what's going on here? We saw just the other day that he had another roster set in stone, and as you can see here, this was the roster that was rumored: Stewie2K, Brax, Raucus, Zombs, and Tex. And now TSM all of a sudden might have EU there as well, because we didn't really know what was happening with this unknown org, whether EU or BCJ was the 5th man. Probably now it's BCJ if EU's trialing with TSM, and now, you know, maybe they're going to get rid of Rossi and even Seven, which would surprise me if Seven was gone, but maybe it's possible that they could bring Tex over instead. So yeah, I don't know. Of course, like, this is trials. It's not guaranteed, and the fact that we saw the rumored roster the other day, and now that might not be the case anymore. Now, look, it makes sense, to be honest, if Zombs and Tex, because as we said yesterday, like, if Zombs and Tex and those other guys, Stewie2K, Brax, and Raucus, are in a 5-man team, there's no guarantees that an organization is going to come through and swoop those guys up. I think they would, but there's no guarantees they get the offer they want. If Zombs and Tex now have offers from TSM to say, hey, come and join us, do a trial, we might make it work, like, you know, it's understandable they're going to take that opportunity over the kind of unsure one with the other Stewie2K roster. So definitely interesting stuff. If this comes true at the same time, they did start off 0-4 here, so maybe if this scrim didn't end particularly well, they wouldn't have run it back with the same team, but interesting to see nonetheless that, yeah, Zombs and Tex could be joining TSM. That is not out of the question right now. So look, if that's the Zombs situation, what is the ShahZaM situation? That's been one of the big questions recently. Could ShahZaM and maybe dapr team up again or something like that? Because obviously Raucus potentially was going to team up with Zombs again after their relationship they had on Sentinels previously. So ShahZaM was released from Sentinels officially a few weeks ago now. They did the whole you know, Hall of Fame thing as well, or Wall of Fame, whatever it was, that ShahZaM wasn't too happy about either. But look, he was kind of clear that he's going to run his contract down to its conclusion when his contract's over, which I guess is pretty soon, to be honest, after this season has been over for quite some time. So I imagine that he's out of contract relatively soon, that he's going to join a new roster. And he actually says here in this clip that he's got it set in stone. He's no longer looking for a team. He's no longer a free agent. The deal is done, and he's going to join a team soon.
ShahZaM.
ShahZaM? You mean, wait, I can't say it.
FA.
That's not leaked yet.
Not FA. Oh, not LFT.
Oh, leaked. I hear you.
Listen, we win this game and I'll tell you guys.
Okay,
So where do you
caster,
wanna go?
bet, GG's.
Okay.
I will not tell you guys.
No, I will.
Yeah,
tell
it's
him.
like
I
less
already
than a
know.
week, probably.
I'm just gonna ask Zach and he probably knows.
Nah, there's no way he does.
Bro knows every leak.
So what do you guys think about the ShahZaM thing, and where do you think he could potentially be going, right? Because, I mean, look, as we saw a few minutes ago, this whole situation in the tier 2 side on the G2, that's the big question to me, because this obviously isn't like an absolute guaranteed list. Flynn does his best to keep this up to date, but it's still not absolutely always 100% accurate. But the G2 thing to me is very interesting. ShahZaM, like, obviously massive name player. If he's going to leave Sentinels to go elsewhere, as clearly he is, he wants to compete in tier 2, he's going to take the opportunity that arises to him wherever it possibly is, and clearly he's got something sorted. He's got a team ready to go, or at least he's got an organization ready to go. Maybe he hasn't got a full 5-man lineup yet, but maybe if it is a G2 or an organization like that, then he's had conversations with, and then things have escalated to the point where they've said, you know what, let's put pen to paper, let's get this deal done, get you into this team as kind of the IGL AWP, whatever they want to do, and then build the team out from there. And that might be what's going to happen here. We'll see. Tough to say, because other organizations also want to come through. We've heard that the Washington Justice and the Shanghai Dragons, these are Overwatch League teams, their parent company might want to get involved as well. So it's far from guaranteed to be G2, of course, but it's just interesting that G2 are probably going to be there in North America, and yet, you know, you'd think if they're going to do it, they're going to sign some big name players, and you'd think that dapr, ShahZaM should be kind of near the top of the list, especially if the other guys we mentioned earlier are going to potentially go to TSM. So that's one thing to keep your eyes on. ShahZaM reckons that it's done though, that after all the speculation, would he retire, would he go to content, would he stay on Sentinels as a streamer has kind of now been put to bed, and it seems more and more likely that in the coming days, probably, I think he said like maybe in a week's time or something, they're going to have a confirmation as to where he's actually going to be for the upcoming season. So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this type of stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.